There we go. Interesting. Interesting. My default, I guess, was not listed as my microphone. Let me try that again. Thank you for letting me know, or I would have just continued to talk to no one for a minute there. We should be good now. Bonus error, good evening. It is 8:07 p.m. here on the East Coast. I'm once again coming to you dead to update a... Who that is. Thank you, Denji. 7 months, Jesus Christ. Jaw-flapping VTuber. Honestly, I feel like a sock puppet pretty frequently, so that's not too far off. Yeah, so Denji, in his non-stop conquest to make the best VTubing application imaginable, has added another brand new feature to VTube Studio. Just when I thought I was free of this task, I have another update to make to this library. So we are going to implement the event subscription API, which fortunately is only a very, very basic or small implementation right now. There's like 2 kinds of events you can subscribe to, so I don't have a ton of work to do. But it's a whole new paradigm for designing. I'm gonna put on some music, I think, but it's not my usual music. I want to listen to Sonic today because it's the only thing that keeps me going. Trouble keeps me running faster. Let's go. Let me know if this is too loud or the appropriate volume. That should be good. Alright. So, what is in the event API? Let's read it together, shall we? General info. Using the VTube Studio event API, you can subscribe to various events and make sure your plugin gets a message when something happens in VTube Studio. That way, you can, for example, get notified every time a hotkey is activated, a model item is loaded or unloaded, the model is clicked, and much more. Yeah, right? Amazing. Subscribing and unsubscribing. You can subscribe to specific events to get notified every time the event occurs. You subscribe using the event subscription request, which will return an event subscription response, if successful. Once subscribed, you will receive a message every time the event is triggered. If you subscribe to an event multiple times, the new config you provide will override the old config. You can also unsubscribe multiple times or unsubscribe from an event you are not subscribed to. This will return successfully, no error, but do nothing. That's fine, that makes sense. The following chart explains the subscription event flow. This is the beauty of WebSockets right here. This is what it's all about. So you send a one-time event subscription request to VTube Studio and it says, "Got it, partner. I understand." Then later, when it has a cool idea about things it wants to tell you, it just knows where to send them. You don't need to initiate an HTTP response. It's not synchronous in any way. So, very good. I like that. This diagram looks a lot like the crayon drawing I used to explain to Taishi how WebSockets work back when I was teaching him how chat protocols all seem to work. Do I have that picture, actually? I might still have that drawing. I do. Hold on. Let me add a image source here. Image. And let me see if I can find this now. I do have these. Little slide deck. There we go. Beautiful. This was my diagram that kind of explained the same thing, except it was talking about how you can send to multiple users at the same time. Hello, Hawkbar. Welcome aboard. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Actually, I'm going to give Hawkbar a shout out because Hawkbar is a fellow big brain genius. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Hawkbar maintains the JavaScript implementation of the same kind of API that I'm working on here. I'm very dependent and beholden to a lot of Hawkbar's tools. I refer to everybody who uses my plugin to use Hawkbar's art mesh tagging application so that they can appropriately find what art meshes they need to tag for blushing and such. So, Hawkbar's credit to team. Anyway, yeah. That's enough of that. What else do we have for the Events API? Let's look. You can also unsubscribe at any time if you no longer wish to receive events. The request to unsubscribe looks like this, with the model loaded event as an example. Alright, makes sense, makes sense. In the event name, pass the name of the event you want to subscribe to. So that's a string, not an enum, but that's fine. Set subscribe to true if you want to subscribe to the event, or false if you wish to unsubscribe. If you set subscribe to false, you can also leave out the event name to unsubscribe from everything. Cool, I guess. Then there's this nebulous config object. I've been worried about this. Yeah, the ArtMesh tagging app is incredibly useful. I do not know how people know what their ArtMeshes are named without a tool like that. It was only very recently that Denshi added that kind of functionality into VTube Studio, and there's not currently a way to directly link people to pull that screen up, so if they need to know what their ArtMeshes are right away, that's the best way to do it. Or your app, your plugin has to provide that kind of functionality built in, which seems like reinventing the wheel every time. Not about that life. Okay. So this config thing is what worries me here, because that's kind of just a nebulous object that can have whatever in it, I think. Like test event. Config has test message for event. Cool. And then the model loaded event has a model ID as its config. So these are different. They're different for every kind of request. So it's not as simple as just making a single... well, maybe it is. What? I was trying to think, can I just make a single event subscription request object? But then what kind of type do I make the config field? I have an idea though, I think. I'll have to see how it serializes. Alright, so then in scenes, got groups, web dev. Not doing web dev, but it's the same kind of thing. Here in Unity, I've got my test scene that I just add more buttons to every time. Data config is polymorphic, much like the data itself is. Yeah, but that C# doesn't play well with that. Like, I get what I can do is I can make a config abstract class, and every actual implementation of the config inherits from that, so you can write any of them to the same field, which is what I think I'm going to do. Yeah, this is a Dreams Come True mix of Dreams of Absolution, I think, from Sonic 06. Yeah, so that's probably what I'm going to do. But anytime there's a field that gets named the same thing, I get tripped up a lot. Okay, so first things first. We're going to open up our VTS data class, which is the 1,000-line long list of every data structure in VTube Studio. Yeah, including domain objects as well. So this has everything. We're going to add a nice little region event API. And let's end region. Way up at the top here. Region. General API, I guess. So we can collapse all that. Don't need that. Other than the config field, you should be able to... Yeah, the existing... Like, everything about the subscription request is the same. It's just the config, which is why I was... Yeah, Denshi, I hate looking at that. You've got a generic inside a generic, which is, I'm sure, valid syntax, but that is one layer deeper than my brain can process. I don't understand what it does from a glance. So I will do here what I always do. I will take this. I will literally copy-paste it. Oh, actually, wait, hold on. This escapes. Actually, I think both of these escape. These are both going to be the same for general API and everything else. That's the base message class, VTS message data, and VTS error data. So those stay at the top. Everything else I don't care about. Let's put this in a comment. We've got our public class event, VTS event. Oh, I'm not showing. Fucking. There we go. Hi, Kari. Welcome. This is just an example. The proper payload for the config is a bit further down. Yeah. No, you've listed them. They're documented. I understand. I understand how it's supposed to work. It's just nebulous. C# does not play well with polymorphism as much as JavaScript does. Okay, so we've got a VTS event subscription data, I think, is what I call these things. And then we have this extends VTS message data. Awesome. And then let's take any old example will do. I always have a constructor, where we initialize our actual data class. Like such. And this is going to be one of these. And what's actually in data? Public string. Of course, now I can't read it. So what's it? String, event name, public pool, subscribe, and then public VTS event big data big. Like such. But what is a VTS event config data? Excellent question. I'm glad you've asked. We are going to do now public abstract class. Like that. And I don't think it needs any fields of its own. Oh, wait, oops. What have I done here? What is this? It's for the namespace. How did I manage this? What the fuck did I do? There we go. So I don't think this needs any actual content. It's just like an abstract class. I guess this could also be an interface. Maybe. It kind of gets dicey when you do stuff like that. So then we have... Oh, actually, what's the response look like as well? I forgot to ask what the response looks like. And then we have a response, which I guess is a different class. I'm trying to decide if I ever want the user to actually see the event subscription response, or if it's going to be like a completely abstracted away concept for the sake of writing like functional code. I guess this is... Do I name my other classes that? That's the other question. How do I name these things? Full shift F. I do, right? I've done this before. Yeah, okay. Request data. That's fine. I'll just make a separate class. Yeah, because these are like basically completely different. Alright, that's fine. Response. And then the data here is two things, right? It's public int subscribed event count, and then a list of string subscribed events. Easy. Why do you have the count and the list separate, Denchi? One would think that count can just be inferred from the list of the length of the list. One would think. We're hacking in an early 2000... Yeah. That's what it's all about. It could be, but why not? I guess that's fair. I mean, it's fine. Like, it doesn't hurt. I don't care. It's just odd. I'm not sure when you'd use one versus the other. Okay, so we've got this. Now, the other thing I was thinking about as part of this library is you've got all of your event types as strings. I'm wondering if it would make sense for me personally to make them an enum. Every type of thing you could subscribe to as an enum, and then convert that to a string. And then you're like all set. And then I'd have on the response here, I'd have to convert the strings to enums again. So you get a list of whatever enum it is. But let's get this working first and foremost. So we've got public class VTS. What do they call? What do we got? Events, test event config, I guess. And here's where I get really on my own case about, what is it? Formatting and keeping things... How do I keep doing that? I keep getting the other bracket out of the region. I don't know why it does that. Because for domain models in the item API, hold on, I'm going to collapse that for a second. Way, 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 way down at the bottom here, I have these domain models, which are options classes, because there are many, many item API functions that require like a dozen optional parameters. So I made these domain objects, which are called item move options, and you pass one of these into the function, and you can set these properties at your leisure. You need some, but not all of them. And then the default values are initialized to be things that would make the property not work. So I call these options. And then now in the event API, it's called a config. So I liked calling those classes option classes. So now I'm wondering if I want to call these. And here's where chat gets to boo me and heckle me. If I call this options, because this is going to be a parameter that gets passed into the subscription class. Oh, I'm sorry, subscription method. We're going to pass in a event config option. So this has a single string in it called this. That. Oh, it's not means. What am I doing? Oh, a string. There we go. Yeah, you got, I got it. I managed to survive in the end. What's wrong? Huh? 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 Expected... Why? Where am I missing a bracket? Oh, no. Oh, the namespace! Duh. There we go. There we go. The namespace. Always forget the namespace. Okay. So now we have a test event config option here, and it extends this so we can package it all together. Now, on the other side here, let's close initialization. Let's collapse authentication. We have our VTS API wrapper. I'm gonna do region VTS event subscription. So we're gonna have, for example, public void. What's it gonna be called? It's subscribe to test event, like such. And this is going to pass in one of these bad boys. Big. And I think that's it. So what does this need to do? Under the hood, we're going to have a private subscribe to event, and we're going to have a string event name action, and that's going to take back a Sonic Mania has really good music. Oops, wrong. Subscription response on success. And then, just like everything else, actually I can just copy this from one of these on error. So this is internal. We're going to have a single function for handling these kind of things. And so what does this need to do? This needs to do... Let's once again copy something from here. It's like for... Oops. For example. I'm jumping around a lot. I apologize if my code navigation gives other people whiplash. We just need to do something like this. Where we call our underlying socket, and we're going to send it a request. We're going to get back a response, and we're going to send a request. So that. We're gonna say request data. Oh, and this also needs a config passed in. VTS. What is it called? Event config data config. So we've got our event name, our config, and then a action on success and on failure, which is how every other part of the API so far works. But this is still private. This is under the hood. We're going to do data dot event name equal to events name request dot data dot not ref request data dot config is equal to config, and hopefully we can just serialize that as we would, and we'll be fine. And now, actually, I might actually remove these actions altogether if I can, and make them inline here, because I think I always want to do the same thing on success and on failure, but I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of hacking this as I go. Okay, so subscribe to test event. We're going to say VTS test event. No, we already have that. So we just need to do subscribe to event under the hood. What is it called? It is test event. And then we pass in config. And then so on success, we need to register this into our big processing stack. Yeah, the end user probably will. Oh, no. So, okay. So every callback I have, that's a great point. This function needs a callback. This needs a on success and on failure callback. And I didn't even bother to look at what the event itself looks like. We just have the subscription stuff. I am putting the cart before the horse here. So the on success here means that your subscription was successful, which I don't want to expose the end user to, I don't think, because I don't see any reason why they would need to know that or care about that. And same with the error. I kind of want to abstract those away. We've got our send function here. I wonder if I'm building this backwards and I need to start from the socket layer. Because the question now is, how do we properly handle resubscribing, like you pointed out? The idea is that when the socket hiccups and reconnects because of network latency, you need to resend this subscription request. And you need to make sure you have the same config and everything. So I need some way when we send this request, when we get it back successfully, to properly log it in the internals of the socket. And I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that without exposing internals of the socket all the way at this layer. Because my generic send function here just takes in, here's what are you sending, what are you expecting back, and then here's the request and its two callbacks. Here's the thing to serialize, and then we store these callbacks for later in a big processing stack. So I'm not sure. We'll get there when we get there, though. But for sure, we definitely need the on success or the on callback on event here for system on event is what we're going to call this. And this is not going to be error data. I'm assuming the subscription API can never send back an error. These look like this. Oi. Okay, so we've got our subscription response, config, test event config. That's fine. So now we have public. Oh, I also important step that I'm forgetting. I gotta mark these as serializable, or else problems will occur. We will have problems. These are both serializable, as is this, and its progenitor. Everything's serializable. Public, VTS, test, event. such. We have these things all squared away. And then copy the internals of this again. Easiest way to do it. There's so much Sonic... I mentioned this last time I played this exact same playlist. There's so much Sonic Freeriders music in this playlist for some reason. I don't understand why. It's not a very good game. Probably not. Only when subscribing. Oh, yeah. I said I'm assuming the subscription will never publish events, or publish errors, like apropos of nothing. Because I don't know how that would work. What would the error event be? If it has an error, it just shouldn't say anything at all, I think. Like, I don't even know how that would work. If you're subscribing to the model loaded thing, I don't know what it would publish back if there was an error. That would be an internal error. So this is a test event. They're called message types, right? Yes, okay. And the data is string your test message. Great field name, and then public hint counter. Beautiful, beautiful, bellissima. What's the problem? Oh. Why are we upset? Oh, I need to call this a class. That's right. Hi, Fuba. We are well underway making stuff happen. We are updating my C# library to connect to VTube Studio. Denshi added a ability for VTube Studio to proactively send events to plugins instead of them needing to ask for something first. So for example, if you load a new model in VTube Studio, you can have your plugin subscribe to events for that. So whenever the model is loaded, VTube Studio will proactively send an event back to the plugin instead of you needing to constantly check every frame if the model is the same as the model was last frame. It's good. It's good. Okay, so test event data on event, subscribe. Interesting. So we want to subscribe to the event. Here's the event we want to subscribe to. Here's the callback we want to do, and here's the config for it. Can I make this? Let's see. Yeah, big ups to Sega for being extremely lax with how they allow people to use their music. I very strongly appreciate it. Sega, I do own this CD on physical. I purchased it. Went way out of my way to import it from Japan because I love this album so very much. So it has been paid for. I realize that does not give me broadcasting rights, but I still appreciate it. Yeah, VTube Studio fucking rules. It's an incredible application, and I feel very blessed that I have like a basic direct line hotline with the guy who produces it, and I'm able to say, hey, this would be cool, and talk to the guy directly, and he just does it. It's insane. No other piece of software that's this high profile and highly functional lets anybody come even close to the decision-making process. But it rules. It's great. It's wonderful. And he's here himself, is the crazy part. Okay, so we need a action. I guess this is just VTS message data on event. Do I want to do something squirrely like, so we've got our event here. Do I want to do something squirrely like, system, not serializable, public, abstract, class, like that, and then this inherits that, and then we can narrow our scope on this like that. What's up? You enjoying the Sonic Colors music? This is Planet Wisp, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're barking out because Denchi is here. Yeah, this is the Denchi. The real Denchi. Okay, so VTS event data. Cool. You can send what you're going to do on an event. I still don't know how this is going to boil down under the hood, but we'll get there when we get there. So we pass in on the event, and then, I don't know. Okay. So now we need to get to our socket layer at some point. We're going to do that now. Stuff doesn't compile yet, but it'll make sense in a little bit. The way I handle everything in my big processor is I have this great function called process responses, where we do a do loop and we pull responses in a ordered list out of the WebSocket implementation. If we were able to get something when we get the next response, we deserialize it into a message, figure out if our list of callbacks contains a stored callback procedure for the request ID of that message, and then we check what message type it is, and we convert it into the correct response type accordingly, and invoke that that success callback. So, for example, you send a message in for getting the state of the API. We check, we deserialize it into the most basic form that we know of, so that we can get the request ID and the message type fields off of it. From there, we're able to then turn it into a state data, so we can give a callback function with a strongly typed response. This is how we do things for this entire process thus far. But going forward, we will not be able to match response and request ID for things like this. We're going to need to do things differently. So I need to collapse all of this because we're going to have this split up. We're going to do if what is it going to be? Response dot Actually, no, I know what we're going to do. We're not going to filter on events like that. We're going to do something probably dumber. This is a great song also. This is from Sonic Adventure 2. This is White Jungle. I think this is 2. Maybe it's from Sonic Adventure 1? I don't remember. White Jungle. Good song. Okay, so this is going to be events. And now I need to make a fun new private struct down here. VTS event. VTS event. We're going to have a public action events data on event. We're going to have a public string event type, and we're going to have public VTS event big data big. So when we subscribe, we're going to make one of these things, basically, is the plan. And then we're going to put it in a dictionary. And when we get a message back, we're going to check if our dictionary has a key that is that event type. We're going to index these by event type instead of by response ID. This is my plan. Surely nothing can go wrong. So we do this, and then we have public VTS event callback. VTS event data on event. Oh, actually, I need to store this as not just a single action. I need to store this as a list of actions. This is what I need to do. Yes. This is a list of actions. That's fine. I think. Yeah, because we need to accumulate these callbacks every time we subscribe, I think? I think? Okay, so help me out here. User subscribes with no config the first time around, right? They just are very permissive or whatever, and they submit an on-event callback. They later subscribe a second time with a more restrictive config and a different on-event callback. I should be clearing the previous event callback and just using the new one, right? I don't need to aggregate. Because, like, we were talking before about being able to subscribe to the same event multiple times, Denchi, and you're not doing that, and that's not the plan ever, right? Where you could subscribe with one callback for one config and a different config for a different callback later. That's never in the cards, right? So this doesn't need to be a list. This just needs to be a single on event. We overwrite it every time. Okay, only once. Awesome, perfect. String events type. This on event. This big data. This big data. Easy. There's a stray generic bracket there. Not config data, just config. Lua, you specifically talked us down from doing that. I'm pretty sure. Where you could get multiple events back for different configurations. You specifically were the opponent of that idea. I'm not. I think maybe I'm describing it. So what currently can happen is you can subscribe to a event and then later subscribe again with a different config, and the most recent config is the absolute ultimatum. So you can change the config at runtime. That's fine. What you can't do is say, I want to subscribe. So, okay, so hypothetical example. You're listening for a change in model. You can't subscribe first and say, here's the callback I want to have executed when you change to the Skeletom model, but when you change to the Akari model, I subscribe the second time with a different callback, and those are differentiated by config. That doesn't happen, which is what I personally thought would be cool. It made sense to me. But the way it goes is just whatever the most recent config is how it is. Whatever callback you pass in at that time is the callback that happens, your singular callback that you get. So that is what we want. It does make this particular bit a little bit easier. So now back up here, our events has VTS events callback. Oops. We got that. No, this is Sonic Unleashed bump. Yeah, it's insane for doing something like tracking parameters, I agree. Oh, does it not? I just assumed that that was the only parameter you could give it, is which model are you expecting to be loaded, and let me know when this model is loaded. I didn't actually look at it yet. I haven't looked at any of this yet. We're doing it live, as they say. Okay, so we've got a list of events, and the index is going to be event types. I should really make this an enum. I'm hurting myself by not. If response dot message type, what's it? It's this dot events dot contains key message type else if yeah, I was the proponent of there should be no configs and you just get raw data blasted to you over WebSocket, and it's up to the consumer to sort through it and figure out what they want to do. That was my grand idea. I said there should be no configs that you have to pass in. It's too confusing. There's no need to do it. Just give me everything and I'll figure it out on my end. Lua pointed out that sends a lot of noise for tracking parameters because there are hundreds of them or what have you. So maybe it's a poor idea, I don't know. Okay, so if our events contains this message response type, then what do we do? Try. Maybe this try needs to get pulled out, I'm not sure. So the try catch here basically does a nice little on error function, but I don't see how that would come up for processing a subscription event. I'm not sure. So this contains message type. The message doesn't say what it's... Oh, it does. It's test event. Okay, perfect, 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 perfect. That's what I wanted. I don't know either. At this point, it's too difficult to try and diagnose over Twitch chat. It's the way it is, and it's fine. Both ways are perfectly fine. Switch. Response. Message type. So then we do this dot event callbacks, response dot message type. Okay. Did I make these fields private? Am I like insane? VTS event callback. Yeah. Oh, I made this the wrong type. It's like, why can I not access event? And then we do this dot JSON from JSON VTS test event data. There we go. So we pass in, so on the case that we get a test event, we fire off the event here. Otherwise, so if we don't have an event of that type, if the message is not an event, then we assume it's a normal response, and then we process it based on its message type. Basically, we process these based on message type regardless, but it's a matter of where we're storing the callbacks, which is fine. The one is indexed by request ID, so you get a one-to-one, and then for the general purpose subscription, it's a separate map that we keep here. So the question is, how do we get things into this dictionary, this list of events? Because right now, it's impossible to populate that. So let's try that. Oh, I also need to make sure that this does get try-catch wrapped, because if the callback event, the on-event thing, throws an exception, we need a way to handle that. So these do probably need an on error. That's fine. That makes sense, actually. We'll get to that in a sec. Oh, let's add that right now. And for the sake of uniformity, it will look like this. And if the error function throws an error, then you've got problems. But what we're going to do is try catch exception E, and I think I can just copy pretty much verbatim what I've got going on down here. Except it's not callbacks, it's going to be like this. There we go. So if your onEvent function throws an exception, like a null pointer or something, it'll pop out of this try catch, and we'll neatly handle it natively, where your error callback will be invoked, is how we do this. Error data message type. No, actually, we don't need that. That's fine. This is fine. This is correct. I was wondering if I need to append the event type to the error here, but I don't think I do. That's not necessary. Okay. So we've got our test event. How do we get things into this events list now? That's the question. We currently have this general purpose send function. We've got your response of type, or request of type T, response of type K, and the question now is, what this will do is it'll automatically add the callback in there as one of these. But for subscriptions, this is different. This is not the same. So I'm wondering how I can cannibalize this most effectively. Because what we're gonna need is like a public void send event subscription. Something like this, I think, where instead of adding it to the list of callbacks, it adds a different kind of thing to the list of events. But we still want to do the part where we send it and we have error handling inline. And we need to store the config as well. So like if this needs to be a totally different message, or a totally different kind of thing. This is such a pain. I might need 3 generics for this one, actually. Check this out. Okay. I needed a separate list of callbacks for events specifically? Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what I've done here, Hawkbar. Is my events one is correlated by event type. So what we do is when we get a new message back in our WebSocket connection, we check to see if the event type is an event that is in the, or the message type is an event that is in our events list. And if it's not, then we check to see if it's a response ID that matches a callback we have an expectation for. And if it's neither of those, then it's garbage and we throw it out. That's exactly how I've done it here. Great minds truly do think alike. Okay, so we're going to need 3 generics here. So T is VTS event. Subscription data. Oh my god, this is hideous to read with font this big. What am I trying to do here? Let me think first. Let's dissect this. What exactly am I trying to do before I figure out how many generics I need? This dot events add. We're gonna do oh, actually, no. We don't need... The first one doesn't need to be a generic. We only need 2, I think. Quest. Yeah. So then T is going to be... the config. And then the K is the response. Like that. And then T is VTS event config data, I think. So I only need 2 generics still, we're fine. And then we need a action. K, I think. Like that. The best song from Sonic Unleashed. or Sonic 06, Wave Ocean. So we're gonna do request dot data dot event name, I think is the. Let me consult the docs real quick here. So for example, our test thing is a message type test event. Event name is also test event. That's important. Okay. Cool. That's what I wanted. That's what I needed to see. And then it's going to be new VTS event callback. On error, just assume that that's fine. I don't think I actually need the event name as a body parameter here. And then, which is also not passed in. So let's do that. Big, like that. Cool. And then we need an on error also. So many parameters. Why is it complaining about this? Ambiguity between action K and action VTS error data. Ew. That's nasty. Why does it care? Huh? Why does it care? Those are separately named parameters. Huh? Oh, I'm showing the wrong thing. Sorry. Sorry. I clicked on Unity instead of. Okay, so I've got a bunch of parameters in here now. So many parameters. So you've got your request, your config, on event, and oh, I named it wrong. That's why it cares. I had a callback here, and it was complaining that there was ambiguity between. It's because I didn't know you could do that. It was like this because I copy pasted, and it was like I don't know which one this is because these both actually have the same signature. These two could be cast interchangeably, but this is supposed to be on error, like that. Okay, so now this kind of has a lot of copycat code from the send method, but will survive. But the other thing is this is like, I haven't even thought about unsubscribing yet. Copycat code's not great though either. Like all of this, the only thing that changed is here in the signature. Yeah, I mean it's not something I'll do right now, but it's a thing I'm gonna think about probably for quite a while. Put this back on one line, I'll format it later. Only needed 2 generics, always a good day. So now we go back to here, where there's a compile error. What we're gonna do is subscribe to event, and this doesn't need an on success, on error, it just needs on event, on error, like that. And now we do socket.send subscription, event subscription. And our generics here are what? I already forgot what these are supposed to be. T is the config type, and then the other one is the kind of event we're expecting back. Why is this? This shouldn't be allowed. This does not extend. This is VTS message data, cool. But I said in here that T needs to extend VTS event config data, but it doesn't. Why? They can unsub? I agree. I don't know why you'd want to unsub. They can unsub when they're dead. Okay, VTS event config data. T must be that. K must be the event response. I'm confused here. Why is this allowed? Because there should be handles on this. I'm confused here, actually. And actually, I don't think we need the generic for the config type. Config type doesn't actually matter here. So maybe that's a moot point. Let's just change this to T. That's true, it's just with subscribe set to false. Like, I get how we send it, but here I've got, like, you send in a config and everything, right? Like, that's all part of the method signature. So, if you unsubscribe, it's the same thing, but with the flag set to false. I get that, I get that. We want to remove the event from the list of things. So, like, I could do, like, a... Oh, actually. Oh, no. Okay, here's where things get really squirrely, alright? Oh, no. Okay, hold on. I've jumped the gun. We only want to actually add this event to the... Hold on, I have to think about very carefully what I'm trying to say here. We only ever want to actually add our event to the subscription in the event, no pun intended, that our subscription request is met with a success. So, what we actually want to do here, and I'm going to comment all of this out. We will come back to this. We're going to do this dot send, the send method we already have. Like that. And then on success is going to look like, we're going to build these inline, and we're going to say, if this is successful, Exactly. So we use the built-in success. So I don't actually need to copy all of this. What I do need to do is this. Exactly. So then I don't need the try catch because, as we just established, the event processor that we have, which will process was this successful or not, will catch a failure here. Too bad, like tough. Like if you get an event in that millisecond, like no plugin on earth is gonna care. These things have to be resilient against that kind of behavior. So when we send our, so this does a this.send. The only thing weird here is then the unsubscribe would be basically the same, but you don't need to, like, you shouldn't need to send in the config data from the unsubscribe. I guess I'll make some other method signatures that wrap this. So then we do, this is still indented too much. don't need this. We're not actually sending anything on the success. We just add our callback to do list and hope and pray. And then we do if what's happening, who that is. Let me quickly navigate back over to Twitch. Girl OL 21. Welcome to the Skeleton Crew. There's a saying in the underworld that reads, or says, if it does not read rest in peace on your tombstone, you get drafted into the Skeleton War. So, thank you very much for voluntarily conspiring? Enlisting. Enlisting is the word. In the Skeleton Army. You're saving some poor draftee. I appreciate it very much. We're programming here, as you can plainly see. Request data subscribe. So for subscribing, we do this. Else, if this events. We'll keep on running. If this events aims key. Good song, right? I think that's the end of that playlist. So let's push our luck. Let's see. Hold on. Let's push our luck. There we go. Let's see if Sega will punish me for this. I hope not.
Can you see the sun is shining on me? It makes me feel so free, so alive. It makes me want to survive. And the sky, it makes me feel so high.
Okay, so if we're saying we're going to subscribe, we do that. Otherwise, we remove it. Makes sense. I'll figure out how to handle patching that in or not. This is a smidge loud, as much as I like this music. There we go. Okay, so we're almost making progress here. So we remove events from the register, add events to the register. So now we have... They're great, I love Sega. I will shill for Sega any day of the week, because I think they do good things with regards to how video games are handled. This is VTS test event data, like such. The non-generic method. Okay, hold on. So I've got so many fucking layers of shit going on here is the problem. Event config data, event data. So this needs to have a generic, I think. This needs to have T, where like that. What do you mean? What's wrong with that? That's how you do that, right? I'm fine, I'm peachy. I'm in a good mood today. I got to pet an alpaca. I got to pet 2 alpacas today. I tweeted about it because I was so excited. I got to pet 2 whole alpacas. Their names were, coincidentally enough, Coco, like our tortoise, very common animal name, and Spots, because they are chocolate colored and one of them had spots. It was a truly epic day for touching grass and touching animals. I had a really good day. I got to watch a lot of professional Dota, which is my favorite sport to watch in this world, bar none. Maybe pro wrestling comes close. But there's a tournament going on in Texas right now, the last one before the International, which is very exciting. A lot of my favorite teams are doing well. The heels of the esport are not doing well. I just watched them get blown up earlier today. Well, no, they didn't get. I haven't seen the third game in the series. They might not have gotten completely blown up, but the second game was looking very dire for them. Yeah, alpacas rule. They're very cute. You just gotta make sure you don't stand behind them. Why is this complaining that this is wrong? Constraints are not allowed on non-generic. Oh wait, it's like because you do this. That's right. That's why. And then this is T. What is it? Request config on event on error. So then. Wait. No, I don't need to pass the config in. That's redundant, actually. That's redundant. We can pop it off like this. That's one parameter I don't need to make explicit, which is perfect because then actually this is fine for my unsubscribe method as well. You don't need to pass a config in. It's part of the request. And this is going to be data.config, right? That's how that works. There we go. Oh wait, no, but we do need it here. But we don't need to pass it into the lower level method. That's fine, that makes sense. Oh wait, no, not config twice. What are we doing? And then we don't have an on error in here. Like that. Whew! Everything compiles. That was probably a really loud, unpleasant noise I just made into the microphone. Everything compiles. That's epic. This is epic. Yeah, we're gonna find out. Oh, and this needs a... private void unsubscribe from event string event name to do make this happen later. That was unbecoming of me. That's fine. That's good. I'm a very mild person, is the thing. For all of my gruff and bluster, I think I'm actually a typically very agreeable, quiet person. I don't know. I've become very, very domestic in the past, I don't know, 10 years. I'm also using a headset microphone, though, so I'm never sure if noises I make are deafening or not, because it's not like I'm 10 feet away from my microphone. That is certainly the impression I have of you. Thank you. I talk a big talk, but I think I can be agreeable when it matters. Okay, we'll do this later. Let's test if this works. Finally, pedal to the metal. In my list here, I've got an example plugin. My first plugin, example plugin. This bad boy right here, where I've got every time I add a new function, I add something here that does another bell and whistle on the big pink screen we saw at the top of the stream. So let's do this. Let's add a button to do get physics data, public, void, subscribe. Can I spell subscribe? New challenge. Alright, so we're gonna do this dot subscribe to test event. Huh? Oh, oops, because I named this the same thing. Test event. Here we go. So we need a config, we need what to do on success, and what to do on failure. Very, very straightforward. So VTS test config. Echo. Config. And then on success, we're gonna do. Let's hop back to Unity for a second. This is a good quality headset mic. Yeah, it's a Sennheiser. I swear by it. I need it so that everybody can hear the exact mood I'm experiencing when I play Dota, the only game I play that requires voice comms, because it's the only multiplayer game I play, or only team game I play. Okay, so here in our canvas, we've got some big old text in the center here. That's cool. Let's add another one, but it's going to be at the bottom. Height 120. Like this. And then the pivot is going to be 0, 0, 0, like such. This. Event text. Back in VS Code. I think I'm being told I have a compiler error. That's fine, that makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna do. Oh wait, no, that's exactly correct. And it's gonna be event text, and then here we're gonna say on success. We're gonna say s dot data dot your text message, test message. Okay, so what I've done here is I've made a call where we subscribe. We pass in the config that we make in the function, where we say we're going to echo, and we say on success. Every time we get one of those back. Actually, no. Let's prove that this is functional. Oh, actually, no. I can't do that. I was going to say, how are we going to be sure that we're actually getting multiple events back? Because the test message is the same every time, but we can actually fix that. We can do string dot format. It's gonna be like 0, 1, and first thing is gonna be the timestamp. S dot timestamp. That's on here, right? Yes. That way we know we're getting new messages all the time. Oh, wait, you're right. I forgot about that already. You're so smart, Hawkbar. I don't need to do the timestamp. I can do s dot data dot counter? Yes. You're so smart. String lowercase s. This isn't Java. Format capital F. This isn't Java. You're so smart. That's exactly what it's for. Okay. And now lastly, I need to actually add a button to do this. So on the right side, we're going to add a button. This is the ugliest test scene I can imagine. This is so bad. Right side. We're going to actually put this here. There we go. Subscribe. So I'm going to fire this up. We're going to connect to VTube Studio. We're going to hit subscribe. And I get back. Oh, I didn't actually pipe the button to do the thing. Subscribe to test event. Yes, yes, yes. Example plugin. Test event. That's what I'm looking for. Wait for this to connect. Null reference exception. Excellent, excellent, excellent. But where? I didn't point a reference to the text. I named it the thing I thought it was. I always forget to do this. In my example plugin, I need to have a reference to the event text. Now it'll happen. Unknown message type. Okay, hold on. What's the actual text say? Unknown message type event subscription request. Oh, that makes sense. Yes. Okay. I didn't add a rule for how I was supposed to handle this in the normal event processor. So let's go back to VS Code, and we'll talk about how I fucked up here. So as I just demonstrated, I'm basically leveraging the send function that we have built in to send an event subscription request under the hood, and we get back a response when that happens. And then if it's successful, we then finally add our event to the stack of events to listen for, which is good. And if we want to unsubscribe, we do the same thing here. But I didn't add all the way back up wherever. In my else if here, I didn't add a rule for that event subscription response. So that goes at the bottom here. It's every time I have to type one of these strings and it's not an enum, I fear for my life. I'm so sure I'm going to make a mistake here one of these days. And this is going to be DS event subscription response data. Beautiful. Getting there. Yeah. So now if I go back to Unity and do this one more time, we should be fine. Just kidding. Wait. Unknown message type, event subscription request? Huh? Is this just lying to me? Is this not... That doesn't make... It should be a response. These are all responses. Hold on. Okay. So... What are we doing here? Send subscription event. On error. That's what I'm wondering, right? Is that something I'm doing? But I don't think so. So let's take this from the top, right? So we've got our example plugin. We want to subscribe to the test event. We're saying, here's our configuration. On success, print the text. On error, also print the text, but, you know, different kind of text you're getting. These are strongly typed. S is a test event data. E is a error data. So it's all strongly typed, which is awesome. That's the whole point of this. E data message. It says unknown type. That comes from... It has to be what you're saying. I have to be adding the request to the response queue. Okay, so we subscribe. This is just a boilerplate cover for this more generic method, so that the user never has to type in the string. I should really make this an enum. I'm going to keep saying that. Config on event on error. Basically, this is just a way to hide the generic that they would need to supply and the string. I'll do this for every event type we have. And then add a correlating unsubscribe event method for all of these as well. What is that doing? Subscribe to event of T. Cool. We make our request. Request data is the event name. There we go. And we send our event subscription. What do? We send with, I should indent this one more, with our request on success. We add the request data event name and a callback with the on success, which we have to wrap like this to do casting properly, because otherwise it will just write back out the generic and this will not be strongly typed. I'm pretty sure. I might not actually need this. Oh, no, I do. Because it's generic. It could be any kind of those things. We know here what type it's supposed to be. So we add that to the queue on success, and then our on error is normal. So what's happening? Oh! I'm stupid. Or I shouldn't say that. I'm just not paying attention. I am clearly naming my subscription event wrong, because that error is coming from VTube Studio, not any of my own code. So clearly I picked the string wrong. Event subscription request. I must have spelled this wrong. No, I typed it right. Subscription request. And then Unity was saying, let me try that one more. Let me get that error one more time. Unknown message type. Event subscription request. Am I running a version of VTube Studio that doesn't have... Have I not updated? Oh, that's gotta be what it is. That has to be what it is. I thought I updated this. Hold on. We'll be right back. Give me a second. Exactly, Hawkbar, you're right. rare. Hello. Let's see if that works now, shall we? I have returned. Well, I did lose all of chat, so you better be chatty again. Alright, I hit subscribe. Did not get any kind of error message. So it didn't complain about that. I'm not getting any test events back yet. I think the doc said it's like intermittent. Let's consult the docs. Because I didn't get an error back, but I'm not getting... Maybe my processor just isn't working. Who knows? Let's check the processor first. Let's see what's happening. So I can subscribe, and I just don't get anything. Every second. Okay, so I've done something wrong here. That's what I thought. Let me navigate back to my capture. Scenes. Capture groups. That's what I'm thinking. I'm doing something wrong here, which is fine. Okay, so how could that possibly be? Let's demonstrate provably that we're getting these callbacks, first of all. It's probably just that my events thing, I'm not indexing by the right string or something like that. So let's log every kind of response we get. Let's log all of these and see what happens. Breakpoints be damned. First step is making sure we're actually getting something. Let's clear this. Event subscription response. Okay. 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 Where's my message, though? So it's not just that the callback isn't being invoked, it's that I'm not getting any event messages here. Interesting. I guess I need to figure out what's going on in there. Did I give it the wrong... Did I give it like a nonsense bad event name? Test event? Let's consult the docs. Let's see what they say. The loaded event. Message type. Test event. That's what we get back. Event name. Test event. Oh wait, hold on. Subscribe, you're probably right. One subscribe is probably initialized to false. And event name, okay. We are setting that. I think you're absolutely correct. Data.subscribe, initialized to false. Let's do it to true here. Yeah, I think you're correct. I think I was unsubscribing. That makes a lot more sense. There we go, test event. I made the text too narrow so it doesn't show properly. Or I did something wrong, because my, I get the counter. Why does it start at 200? That's interesting. Huh. Does that sound not go through? What the hell? Hold on. That's wrong. Mix it up bot, hello? Mix it up bot? Hello? Oh, that might be. Mix it up bot? Hello? I need my sounds mix it up bot, where are you at? How do I even find these? Which channel points? Mix it up bot just refusing to play sound? Huh? What the hell? That's a bummer. Everything's going wrong today. I'm gonna reboot Mix It Up bot. It should be going through my virtual audio cable, and it's just not. I was mashing the button in Mix It Up bot. Let's try that again. Those sound effects are important. I need them. How can I be expected to function without awful stock sound effects? Mix It Up bot, you want to cooperate today? Oh, and Strike My Skull isn't going to work either. Because I need to reboot my bonking application. Hold on. It's everything's a blow, because I rebooted VTube Studio. Hold on, hold your horses. Okay, I don't know what was up with that. I don't know why audio cues aren't working, but this should work. Come on, I just tested this. I just tested this. Hold on. Hold on, I'm gonna disappear for a second. Come back. Why? I just tested this.
Go!
I don't understand. Oh, is this literally just like every sound clip from the game? This is not music, hold on. What else is good in the world of Sonic? This won't get me banned, I'm sure of it. Why is this not working? I don't know. I think it's something with Twitch. Like, not handling my channel points properly.
This is my escape. I'm running
There we go. I don't know what's up with the other one, though. There we go. Okay, almost all is well in the world. I don't know what's up with the other one, though. I'll have to figure that out later. I think my OAuth token might have expired or something for Mix It Up Bot. We're just gonna have to deal with not having sound. But you can at least hit me again, that's the most important part. Okay, so what was I even trying to do? I got totally waylaid here, totally distracted. My message wasn't coming back like I was expecting it to. But that's probably just me naming the thing wrong. There we go. All is well in the world, right? So let's see, our number was coming back fine, but your test message is coming back empty. Endless possibilities, truly. Oh, I'm gonna have to get a new one of those. That's fine. Let me regenerate one of those real quick. That was my Twitch OAuth token. I'm a clown. That's fine. Nobody saw it. Nobody saw nothing. What are you gonna do with it? It's fine. Oops, it's fine. That's my bad. I will get concerned about that later. You really can't do much with it, as far as I'm aware. And I will get a new one after the stream, so. Okay, so your test message is the data name. Test event, that's cool. And then test message for event is in the config. Is the problem that the config is getting reduced to its lowest form? So there's nothing in here? Let's find out. In here, we have our config. I bet that's what it is. I bet it is not handling polymorphism nicely. So let's demonstrate that here. We can easily do this. Debug, log, JSON, from, or to JSON. It is, I am certain, not handling polymorphism well. It's converting this to the abstract, which has no properties, is my best guess. Now if we go back to Unity here, wait for this to connect, subscribe. I'm wrong, it's handling it fine. What's the issue then? Why are we getting nothing here? That's good though, that it handles polymorphism properly. Test message for event echo. That's good, that's how it should be. And in my example, your test message is just empty. It should be the word echo though. I don't know how to further debug this. I could do... this is ominous music, very ominous. Oh, actually, I just need to print out data. Make sure that I'm actually not getting this string, and it's not just that I've named the field wrong. What do we got here? Okay, yeah, my test message is blank, which makes me think that I am not, not sending the config properly somehow. Alright. Back to VS Code, breakpoints be damned. Let's add another printout of what our beautiful, beautiful JSON looks like. In here, where we send event subscription request, we need to see what our request looks like. Debug.log. I think that's implemented. Oh, actually, no, it's not. It's definitely not, because that would require. Never mind. Let me make sure that my config is in the right place. It could just. I'm very sure now. I've seen that the config has the property on it, and it's not getting serialized wrongly. So the only thing I can think of is I'm putting the config in the wrong place. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, okay. This does tell me something. So our event subscription request does not have the config on here somehow. Somehow it doesn't have it. So why would that be? We definitely set the config when we send it. Where does this come from? Up here. Config is equal to config. So the only thing could be, is this not serializable? But it is. This is also serializable. So what's happening? What's wrong? Why? What have I done wrong? We don't need the event data, we just need the... subscription request. This is not being added to here. Why? Yeah, all I can think is it's like having a fit with the deserializer. Or this, rather, vserializer. Hold on, this is too dramatic. Sonic Unleashed has very good music, but is this a timestamp? Can I jump to something punchier? I can. Here we go. Much better. Sorry, I just looked at Twitter and saw that I had a bunch of notifs, and I was like, is anything important? But it's mostly people liking alpaca photos. Yeah, so I don't know. It must be... Oh, have you played Sonic Unleashed? It's one of my favorite Sonic games, which is saying something because I like Sonic a whole lot. Great album, Planetary Pieces, the OST for Sonic Unleashed. The, only game that could make me want to buy one of those new Xboxes, because Sonic Unleashed through backwards compatibility can run at 60 frames per second on the new Xbox. Finally, 12 years later, technology caught up to Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. I really want to play that game at a stable frame rate, because I like it very, very, very much. This is from the overworld of the Greece-themed level, Windmill Island. Okay, so why? Because, like, what I could do is, like, this. I could do like this, and then this becomes T. Because this is basically never experienced, or never interacted with by anything anyway. So what I can do is... Then I would need to specify the config type. That might be okay. So like... one layer back. We've got our generic subscribe to event. Hey. Return to the T. Yeah, we're back at it again. So we're gonna have K. I think this is what I want to do. This feels squirrely, but if this works, it'll tell me something. Does it? Oh no, that's just Streamlabs fucking shit up. I think. I have to see if I can fix that. That's no good. Why would you ever want that? That's so obnoxious. Can you paste the entire contents of a web page in my chat and see if it renders? Like if we do... Does it filter out these div tags? Okay, no, it just mangles them. It's doing URL encoding, it looks like. Not HTML encoding. That's no good. Interesting. Okay, so... Where was I? We've got our event config data. This should be fine. Then this, we pass it one layer down. Another K. What does this tell me? We get our K, so this should be strongly typed. Like that. I think. It's annoying, right? I mean, I didn't write the JavaScript that powers my chat box. I just expected that to work out of the box from Streamlabs. Okay, so what I've done here is I've added another generic. You can solve every problem by having more generics. So we specify, like, the concrete type K of what our config is going to be. And I'm wondering if by doing this, it will make our send function throw less of a tantrum and know how to properly serialize the message. Because I'm thinking it might just not know how to serialize it when it's a property, and it will downcast it to the lowest level and strip all the actual useful properties away from it. So when the config is a property on the higher object, I think it's making it like the abstract class, which has no properties. Let's find out. API error. Well, that's new. Here it just snipped all the data off. And I get an error back, which makes sense, because I'm not telling it to subscribe to anything. What the fuck did I do here? Oh no. Oh no, oh no. I bet Unity doesn't like trying to serialize a generic. Oh no, this is a mess. Yeah, missing config does work, which is interesting, but obviously not desirable. And I think the docs say as much, that's expected. Oh my god. Okay. So now when I try to do this, where I've got a generic here, Unity is not sending a data property. It's just making it a VTS message data instance. I am using Unity serializer. This might be the problem. This might be where I finally have to rip the band-aid off. But I don't think I have the license to distribute Newtonsoft shit. I know it doesn't work with generics. Okay. Okay. Can I remove this? What happens? Let's roll it back. Let's put this back to being an abstract. Yes, I know that, but I don't want to have to make a subscription request class for every type of subscription. That would be antithetical to what I want to do here. What's happening? Who that is? Let's find out. It's Alexia. Thank you for the subscription. Or the follow, rather. There's a saying in the underworld which reads, if it does not read rest in peace on your tombstone, you get drafted into the Skeleton War, and you have voluntarily enrolled. So you're saving me from having to grab some poor drafty. You're doing God's work. Thank you. Let's go. I'm assuming, Louis, you're excited about me implementing Newtonsoft? Or, what are you excited about exactly here? Request. What are we excited about? More interstitial music. Not what I asked for, but I'm sure we'll get to level music soon enough. I'm kind of stumped on what I should do here. The quote-unquote easiest thing to do would obviously be ripping out Unity's serializer, but I do need to... I want to have everything in here be as lightweight as possible. Newtonsoft might not be suitable for everybody, and I'd rather you just provide your own. And I don't think I have permission to distribute Newtonsoft JSON deserializer. Okay, this album needs to not have every single piece of interstitial music. There we go. So, like, if I'm distributing this as an asset, I don't know that I can just distribute Newtonsoft stuff, and I don't want to have to update that all the time as well. So what I could do is, like Hawkbar said, make a concrete version of the event subscription request class for every single type of event. I don't want to do that. I very much don't want to do that. But if that's the only thing that works, that's an option. There has to be... I must be doing something wrong here. Are we using K at all anymore? Do I have to take this back out? So if we're successful here, let's do... All I can figure is that when we're doing our serialization here, Unity is getting confused because there's no... Okay, I'm on spotty cellular service. Why are you watching on your phone? What are you doing? Are you out? Are you touching grass at this hour? Lua? What are you doing? What could you possibly be up to? At this hour at 7 p.m. on a fucking Saturday? You having fun? Many, many assets I've used. I don't trust them because I didn't write the code. I can't trust them. just don't know. My heart's not willing to love. I can't open my heart. Okay, no, so we've been over this. This is correct. This is good. We like this. This is bad. It's not... You're driving. You're listening to me while driving? I'm gonna put you the fuck to sleep. I'm the most boring streamer on twitch.tv. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna be responsible for a traffic accident now. Lua, have I ever told you that I actually did a collab with Bonbons here one time, entirely while driving? This is probably illegal. I probably actually shouldn't confess this on twitch.tv. But I had to travel to New York for a while, and she was playing Super Robot Wars. So I just phoned in over Discord, had my phone up, hands-free of course. Absolutely of course. Was not looking at a screen or any kind of visual feedback for the entire trip. But on my road trip up to New York, or down to New York, sorry, I was phoned in, providing radio comms and commentary about the robots that Bond was describing to me. And that was like a 3.5-hour collab, I think. Lost to the sands of time, because Bond doesn't record any for streams. But that was an interesting time. Thank you, Kuba. It is what it is. Okay, so we know that our config is being saved properly, but it's not serializing. Why? Why? I hate this. I hate this. I hate this a lot, actually. This is giving me more pain than it should. I hate it. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in VS Code right now. I hate this. This is actually getting me, like, angry. I don't know a good way to solve this. That's, like, elegant and makes any kind of sense. At least I've got this incredibly tranquil music to listen to. Don't want to get hung up on this. I had like grand plans for another thing to do after this, if I like feel like going to midnight. But that was going to be trying to decouple the last little shreds of this from Unity, so that I don't actually have to depend very much on Unity at all, except for like 2 calls that put things on the main thread. I don't think I'm gonna get there tonight, unfortunately. Everything's serializable, that all makes sense. You got this. I appreciate your words of support, Lua, but you of all people know that I definitely don't got this. Sometimes things are just not meant to be got. Because if I make a concrete implementation of this for every single type of thing, or not that one, sorry, of this one, the thing that I have to change is this. Oh wait, actually, I'm a clown. I can do this very easily. I'm gonna do what I just said I didn't want to do. But I can make it without having to repeat a bunch of code. Yeah, I keep saying I should set up a debugger, but I never do. Not on my home machine. I don't trust that shit. I just rather haven't ever thought to do it with Unity, but I should. I'm also using VS Code as opposed to like proper Visual Studio, so I don't know if that has a debugger that hooks up with Unity. VTS event config data. So we just established that this is not actually serializable. That's okay. Does it? Okay, that would make sense. But I don't know. Public VTS test event subscription. Class names can be extremely long, right? We do oh wait, no, we don't want the generic here. My bad. We can just do that. It's a one-line thing, and then everything else should be fine. And then I can go... Oh, no! Wait. Subscribe to event T. Back to having multiple generics, but this time it's for... And then now I'm back to where I was originally, where I was thinking I need 3 different generics. I think. Where K... And I wish I could just be like, of any type here. But now I need... this. Type O cannot be used as a type parameter T in the generic type. There's no boxing conversion. Oh wait, and then I need to do... This is so squirrely. The solution is always to add more generics. I don't know. This is getting very squirrely. And then... But the important part is the user never sees this. Hold on, I need to look up how to... What's the new constraint? How do I do this? It's been a while. That's a beautiful method signature. That's wrong, though. Or do I do... Okay, it's like that. Okay. We're getting somewhere. kind of. So now on our send subscription event. Oh my god, this is so fucking squirrely. We have our event data. We do basically that. Really verbose. And then here. This doesn't even compile anymore. Wait, maybe I only need 2 generics. Maybe this is a 2 generic problem, now that I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure. No, I think this is a three generic problem still. Okay. And then what was the thing we just had? Where K. Was that in here? My bad. I'm losing my marbles. So ugly. This is so ugly. But it compiles. I'm gonna be very mad if this ends up working, but I mean that's what generics are for at the end of the day. Alright, so lastly we have a compile error here. T K O. Everything compiles. The stage is set. Humanity will now pay for its hubris here. Will be tested against our metal. Doesn't work. No, it works even less than before. Please provide an API event type when subscribing. It does not work. After all that, it is still just serializing the generic version of this. Why? You know better than this. Anticipation. Okay, so, subscribe to event. We pass on a concrete version of this. Test event, subscription request data. Awesome. We understand. It extends. So this is a concrete implementation of this where the config type is specified. T is a strongly typed thing here. Can I do... Wait, hold on. Hold on. Okay, it does have the data class. But it's empty? I don't understand how anything works. I'm a fool. I'm a fool to ever think that I know how to program. Why? There's a data class, but it's empty. Why? It's inheriting this right here. This has a data class defined under it of type T. We're saying it's just like that, except... Can you not do this? Is this not how inheritance works? We're saying that this has this config type. It's a concrete implementation of this, so that the config type is known. But then when we inspect here, event subscription request data, .data, there are no properties on this. Oh wait, because I'm actually like molding right now. So I need to do this. Okay, they're here. We're good, we're good, we're good. I was trying to access the class, and I was like, why can I not read the properties? Oh, I'm not even showing fucking VS Code. I was molding because I'm so upset. Okay, here, Hawkbar, here's a recreation of what I was just doing. It's still not working. It's still not printing out the data property here. So what I was doing was like, okay, let's see. We've got our class here, .data, and I was like, where are the properties? Even though I'm operating on the class def and not the instance here. But as demonstrated here, you can do rec.data.events name, and you're all fine. I'm getting confused though because Unity here is showing me this is my following error when I pop this up. Please provide an API event type when subscribing, which makes sense because my event subscription here does not have any data associated with it, and I don't understand why. Like, literally none. Which means that this is being cast when it's being sent to the lowest message type, which doesn't have a data field of its own. That's the only thing I can think of. So adding all those generics did not help. I don't understand why. I don't understand why. By the time it gets here, it has lost what is important to it. K is one of these. Give it the concrete type. We tell it to send. Kind of backwards, actually. I've got my generics all screwy. But that shouldn't matter. I just have the naming order of them weirdly. Let's flip these around. Oops. Or actually, that's not. That's confusing. Oh my god, I keep doing this, I'm sorry. Time to get that... I don't think the I mean, this is gonna sound like I'm coping or whatever, but I don't see how that would help here. Because it seems like... I guess I'll look for it. Where's my... how do I even get to the marketplace in this godforsaken app? Find... View... I don't even remember how to get to the extensions. Oh, they're right here. Debugger for Unity by Unity Technologies. This extension is deprecated as it is no longer being maintained. Debugger for Java, not using Java. Are you developing some issues with the VTube Studio program? No. I am... Yeah, install this anyway. I am building tools to let people make plugins for VTube Studio, but this is the guy who builds VTube Studio. That's the guy you're looking for. Okay, so I've got this going. Now what? Debugging view on the left. Well, I don't have that. Yeah, so I maintain a open source library that is for C# that lets people write code that interfaces with the API, the application programming interface of VTube Studio. And it's open source, you can build whatever you want with it. And so right now I'm adding updates that coincide with the recent stuff that Denshi has added to VTube Studio. But I am not a maintainer of the VTube Studio project, as much as I might like to be. I don't know. I don't do that here either. Is this just like cool now? I don't know. The extension doesn't really say. It's got outdated. Outdated information. I'm currently fuming because something is not serializing properly, and I don't know why. When I'm trying to talk to VTube Studio. Yeah, okay, my debugger is not running, I guess. I'm not sure why. Hawkbar, you saying you've used this one before? You know that it still works? Because, like, first things first, there's no debug gear. On the run and debug thing, oh, select a debugger. There we go. Okay. Now, debug console. Still nothing. Attached. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'd have to attach it somehow. But I don't see where that's not being asked of me at any point. It just keeps asking me to select this. Okay. Cool. Okay. Are we good now? All right. Oh, I think we're good, actually. I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. Unity debug. Do whatever. Okay, so now, if I hit subscribe... Oh, it works! Wow, okay, cool. I have moved into the 21st century. Not that this is terribly informative. So request. Test event subscription. It knows it's one of these things. It knows that it has data. And it knows that there's data in here. So it's got to be the serialization. It is just serialization then. Ah, God. I don't know what to do here. Because it's using... This is still ultimately like generics, so it's just getting lost. How do I serialize them? Great question. I have a interface class, and I'm literally just using the Unity... can I move this? Yeah. For my extremely naked implementation, I am... to resume or stop. Or I guess I can just find it here. My extremely naked implementation here is just using the Unity JSON deserializer. Yeah, this is why you shouldn't do shit like this. I guess if this is the issue you're going to run into. Unity engine JSON utility from JSON to JSON. And then I have some light custom code to replace enums with their proper types, like hotkey actions and etc., etc. This might be literally the issue Denshi had, but Denshi's definitely asleep by now, because it's like 5 a.m. where he is. Okay, so back to the debugger. How else can I be a big brain genius and solve this? Clearly, just using more generics didn't actually help. Interesting. Your message just got auto modded because you suggested NuGet. I don't know if that's deemed offensive to somebody. I have no idea. Yeah, that's so bizarre. I don't know that I have permission to redistribute Newtonsoft stuff. I know, but then she doesn't have to share his code as open source, is the thing. So he can use whatever he wants because it's a compiled binary. I have to share this as open source, which means if I were to include Newtonsoft, I would need to include the entirety. Yeah, but okay, so what if somebody's using this for not Unity, which is about 50% of all use cases from what I've seen. There's no package manager unless you've got, I guess, NuGet hooked up for your other C# thing. It's not a feasible solution. This sucks. Why? Why is it doing this? I'm so angry about this. So deep in thought. Yeah, exactly. I have no idea. I don't know. It's an issue of it being open source. Not that I'm unwilling to use. Is it MIT licensed? Which would solve a lot of my problems, I guess. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good. I don't want to. I don't have the brain capacity to compile the DLL right now, and I do not use the Unity package manager on my version of Unity. I do not know how to use it, so I would have to get that some other time, I guess. Maybe that's the only solution. What could they possibly be doing that's like not replicable? Like I'm interested how complex they get and how much stuff I do or don't need to work with that. Let me get on computer. If you have a DLL you could just like send me, that would be cool. I would be receptive to that. But now my concern is if certain implementations of JSON serialization can't handle this, this could just blow up arbitrarily and the user would have no way of knowing it because I have the JSON serialization implementation as a thing you pass in for the constructor of your plugin, like the bus for that. So if they just make one that doesn't work, they wouldn't know why it's not working. I guess. And I guess if I've got the Newtonsoft one, I don't really need to make it a thing where you provide your own JSON serializer. I did that because I was using the Unity one, and I knew that people would be writing code that's not Unity, and so they could provide their own Newtonsoft implementation. But that would be a really breaking change to remove that from the constructor. I agree. I agree, Hawkbar. That's why I'm stuck at. What happened here? Who's following? What's going on? Ravind Yubu. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Skeleton Crew. There is a saying here in the underworld, which is, if it does not read rest in peace on your tombstone, you get drafted into the Skeleton War. So I gotta thank you, Ravind Yubu, for your voluntary enlisting in the Skeleton Army. You are saving me from needing to reap some poor draftee, harvest their soul and make them fight in eternity. I Discord DM'd you. This looks long, but I promise it's simple. Whether grab the NuGet file extension to zip and grab the DLL from inside. Okay. Do you say so? Thank you for sending this. Again, my concern though is if I relegate to just changing my serialization implementation, I'm worried that the user could provide their own somehow. That just causes this whole thing to blow up, which means that this is not like a stable or smart solution the way I've got things right now. I'm gonna smack my head against this for like a little bit longer, and if I can't figure it out, I might call it quits and try and solve this when I'm more well rested tomorrow morning. And if that solution is just I have to use Newtonsoft, so be it. I'm really concerned that there are ways that I've got this set up where it could just blow up and the user would not be any the wiser as to why it's just not working. So in that sense, I'm kind of glad I'm using the Unity deserializer because it's like the least functional version. So if it works with that, it should work with anything. All right, let's disconnect that. This is a good song. This is Cool Edge from Sonic Unleashed. The whole song soundtrack has been Sonic Unleashed. I guess you're right. That's a breaking change. Like, removing that from the signature is a breaking change, which I don't want to have to do if I can help it. If there's anything I can do to help it, I don't want to do that. We were on such a good streak this morning, or this earlier this stream too, where I got like this whole callback system set up. That worked great. I was able to recycle existing code to a pretty high degree, and now we hit the wall. I appreciate all the support though and the rubber ducking. I do think Hawkbar is right, and there's some way I can mess with this. Exactly. That's why I was really strongly opposed to it earlier. I just had an interesting idea. I had a very bad, make no mistake, it's a bad idea. But what I could do, thank you for striking my skull. What I could do is make like a super config class that will have the properties of every child config, and then cast it to that somehow. I don't know how that would even work. And like keep that like at a boundary level, and the domain objects would all be like, we'd still have our event config data where they just have this one field, but then when it goes to actually send it and turn it into a event subscription request, instead of having a generic here, this would just be like that master type. I don't have a music command. If you want to know, I am listening to the Sonic Unleashed soundtrack, because Sega is very good at not being litigious with their music. This is from Sonic Unleashed from 2008. This is Cool Edge. Cool Edge Daytime Stage is the name of this song. Yeah, I mean, that's hoping and praying. That's what works. Yeah, no problem. I'm a big Sonic fan, big Sonic nerd. Like, if you do this enough times, eventually you get a ring. There we go. A big Sonic otaku. Yeah, Akbar, that hinges on Denshi ignoring fields that aren't relevant, which is typically true. But I don't know if that's a safe bet either. Maybe I'll have to confer with him tomorrow. What a pain. I mean, the other thing I can do is this, which is not what I want to do, but it will definitely guarantee work. No ifs, ands, or buts. Is something like this. And then this would be this would definitely work. For sure, for sure. And then I could do like that. And then we remove this. We just make this an abstract. Okay, hold on. I got it. This is really dumb, but this will guarantee to work. Remove the compiler from the equation, basically. We make this an abstract. Like that. We now extend this. We remove the compiler completely from the equation, and we just make a concrete implementation of every. This is not what I want to do, but it will guarantee work for every what am I trying to say? Every serializer implementation. This will guarantee work because it will be a concrete, discrete class. The problem is I'm basically replicating these fields, but what I can do is something like this, I think. Maybe this isn't feasible because this is an abstract as well. This will just be whatever. Oh, but then that hides that. I can make that an abstract class, you're right. But I think that hides it, is the problem. So like this overwrites. And what I wanted is this to extend from like... like that, basically. But that hides the... I guess I could call this like... like that, I guess. And then... it's fine. Nested I mean, I did that because like every object, every request has a data field, and they're all different. So I was like, oh, you know, the most logical way that a user would ever want to access that is class name dot data, and then you get unique properties on it. So to me, it made sense that they're nested, like such. I thought that made a lot of sense at the time. Maybe I kind of regret it later. Anyway, we can do this. This is fine. This won't get angry, I'm pretty sure. Hop on our system.serializable, and now we have to go back in our code and tear out all those fucking generics once again. Subscribe to event. Golly, this is a huge pain in the ass. But that's fine. So where T is in VTS, event subscription request data, and where K is, there's no more an O, VTS event data, T does not contain a definition for data. It does. Oh, wait. That's true. This doesn't contain a definition for data. I've hit an impasse. That's a problem. The complaint is I can't just access the data here because T does not inherently have a data accessor. Which is a good point. I don't know how to tell it that it will. And I can't just, like, add that to the abstract here. I'd have to add, like, a getter? And then that wouldn't have a subscription field either. Epic level finishing music. I wish I was feeling this triumphant right now. Alright, this fanfare is actually distracting me from thinking. Where even are we on this playlist right now? We're an hour in? Holy shit. Golly, golly, golly. Can an abstract property but not a field though? Yeah. That's what I was thinking. But even then, if it's a field of this type, it wouldn't know that it has a config. Which is fine because I could just have the config passed in, I think. I was trying to get smart and pop it off here like from the request. So I can just have the config passed in, okay. That's fine. Though it doesn't guarantee that there's a match between the config type and the request type. I would have to just always make sure I'm right about how I have that set up. And we still have the ability to get data. And that would look like... that hides that though, right? Wait. Is that allowed? Wait, hold on. There's no way this is okay. There's no way it thinks that this is an okay way to write code. Use the new keyword. This is insidious. So what I've done is I've added an accessor here, data, on the abstract level, which is a getter. Doesn't do anything, but it says it'll return one of these things. And then in the socket level, what we have is it like just thinks this will work. I'm not sure what happens if I hit go on this, but we have to fix some other code first. Okay, so let's see. So where... I think here's where the rubber is going to hit the road, and we're going to have problems, though. I like also put my generics in the dumbass order. So okay, hold on. And here it's request config. So here we just have config, which I don't think needs to be a generic. We just have where T is that. And we need to know what kind of... okay, so wait, no. T is VTS error, or VTS event subscription. Yeah, we have no way of assigning the... yeah, here's where the problem is. So that's all fine and good. Where K is VTS event data. This would be T. Now here's where we hit the problem. Can I convert from T to K? What do I do here? Quest. What the fuck did I do here? What's the problem? Oh, oops. There we go. Yeah, so here's where we're gonna hit the problem. How do I get that config property on this model? That's what I don't know. And we get back to basically the polymorphism concern. Can I do... Auto-implemented properties must have get accessors. Can I do this? Can I do this? Is this the pattern that works? No, we still have one compiler issue left. Okay, hold on. We're almost in the clear. I can almost test this. I can almost run this. What a squirrely mess this is. Okay, so subscribe to event now requires just two generics. Our subscription request data, VTS, test, event, and then VTS, test, event. Okay, everything compiles. Nobody fucking move. We're about to do some science here. The way I have attempted to solve this is we have our generic class, event subscription response data or request data. It has an accessor for its generic data type, and we basically hide. So these paths all exist, and we hide them later. This actually probably doesn't even need to just be a getter. I can probably just do that. And then new hides them with our actual good implementations of the same thing. I don't know what happens if I hit play. We're about to find out. I'm gonna lose my mind if this works. New coming to save the day, maybe. Okay, hold on. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Alright, where? That checks out. Okay. So it's complaining that data here is null, which makes sense, I think. I think that makes sense. Can I just do... No, because it's an abstract class also. Of course, of course. Okay. What if you're not abstract? What if everything else is abstract? Let's try that again. Once more with feeling. Let's see what happens. No. Okay. Yeah, the config is just not coming through. But that makes sense, because it's trying to treat it as the lowest form again. Or kind of back to where we were, maybe. It's trying to serialize this. Is what we get down to. Alright, this music is also not conducive to thinking. Nice try, boss battle. We get this song, though, which shreds. This is the best song in the soundtrack. Okay. So let's again look at this. T is something that inherits from this. These are being set properly. So once again, we're able to subscribe. It's just this damn polymorphic config. We send the request. I wish I could, like, cast this. Somehow. I don't know. JSON makes this so much easier. This all gets solved with JSON. Config again, don't need to pass that in. If I cast this, does that do anything? Let's find out. No, config is still blank. Oh, wait, hold on. What the fuck? I've never seen this before. Okay, hold on. Hold on, I'm getting the debugger. Mom, I'm getting the debugger. You need to see this shit. Run. Is this playing? Or will? Breakpoint found. What the fuck? I've never seen... Okay, I guess this is what the new property does. I can't really blow this up anymore, but we've got two datas here. Two of them. Count them, two of them. Which I guess makes sense. Because otherwise I would basically be trying to write JavaScript. But we've got data, which is all not set. And then we've got the other data, the worst data. Oh my god. Okay, so that's not a viable design pattern either. Lesson learned, I guess. So we can't do that. That's annoying. I did not know you could have two properties. I thought when you did new, it would just, like, overwrite the old one. Exactly, exactly. It's adding a second data property. And I have no idea how you'd access one versus the other. And you can't guarantee that there will be a new one on the upcast class. So you can't, like, access that. But the new one is set. This is correct. Like, everything is here. Everything is here. Well, actually, though, but he's not serializing, right? Oh, because I removed the... Or, I guess it just doesn't have any properties? I don't know. I don't know. I'm running in circles here. This is, like, really baffling shit. This is really, really, really baffling. I have programmed myself into a corner. I'm sure tomorrow morning the solution will be to the direct side, because then we're back to where we started. Exactly. My thought here was, okay, make an abstract version of this, and hope that, like, you can have the path accessors that you need to have. So that's no good either. So this doesn't work. Get rid of all this new stuff. This is no good. So, like, this, in and of itself, would work. But when we go to fill out the individual requests, where is it? Here, it wouldn't work, because it wouldn't have the ability to do these accessors. But what I could do, instead of trying to do this, which is maybe old and busted. Yeah. Hold on. I got an idea. So here, forget this, actually. Fuck that. Fuck all of that entirely. We're gonna have public abstract void set event name string event name public abstract void set subscribed bool subscribed public abstract void set config VTS event config data config. We have these, and now we have an abstract class that implements this, so I need to do the following. Implement abstract class, set event name, this.data.event name. Oh wait, hold on. I got rid of a little too much. That part was fine. And then we can do, as a treat, we can do system.serializable. public string. Okay, so now we go back to and now we can implement the abstract class. We can do this.data.eventsName equals eventName. We're just going to repeat this pretty much over and over again. But we remove any inference from the compiler here. We don't have any kind of dependency on generics. We just write the concrete implementation every time, which is fine and will always work. This.data.subscribe. Subscribe. This.config. Or this.data.config. Cannot implicitly convert. VTS can make it. Check this shit out. This is like the most dire possible implementation, but this is just being extremely literal about everything, with the most reuse I can reasonably get out of this. Magic of casting. This will work. This is. I know this will work. This is fine. It's not going to complain. It's annoying to have to copy paste this essentially identical implementation over and over again. But I don't think there's any two ways about it. Maybe there is, and I'll realize tomorrow. So then we do this. Good problem to sleep on, right? Alright, cool. Oh, then we need accessors also, don't we? Interesting, interesting. Oh no, what's happening? Where is everybody coming from today? I'm going to be very interested to see the analytics later. Oh, wait, this appears to be a spam robot. Almost certainly. Ominous. I've been linked to YouTube. I don't know, you came in here and you linked a YouTube link. I'm gonna humor you and open it. But I'm not gonna show it on stream. You can prove to me that you're not a bot. I've turned off my autoplay. What have we got here? Oh! I'm sorry. You're not a bot. You're not a bot at all. Onigumo69. Thank you for joining the Skeleton Crew. There's a saying in the underworld which is, does not read rest in peace on your tombstone, you get drafted into the Skeleton War. So I gotta thank you for voluntarily enlisting. Saves me from having to go out and find some poor draftee. You are linking a song that sounds very similar to what I was listening to. I'm sorry. When your first chat in a Twitch chat is a link, I just typically assume it's a bot. I apologize profusely. Welcome aboard. I'm happy to have you here. I'm currently 3.5 hours into a programming debacle that has to do with typecasting and dealing with generics, which is just no fun at all. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm sorry for accusing you of being a bot. He really had me there, though. I was worried. So I think I need to make accessors for these as well. So then... It's a managed language. How hard can it be? You'd be surprised. Yeah, that's... Hawkbar is exactly right. I'm trying to deal with polymorphic serialization of a generic data structure. How hard can it be? And then... It's not a void, it's one of these. So we have all of those again. This is going to be a great problem to sleep on, for sure, for sure, for sure. I am certain it will just make sense tomorrow morning, and I'll tear all of this out in a frenzy. So much of this is, like, boilerplate crap. I'm sorry for accusing you of being a bot, by the way. I feel really bad about that now. I was sure though. Whenever I see somebody just auto-link a thing. And finally, get config. Yeah, you got me. You got me there. For sure, for sure. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're doing get event name. And I probably want to be able to cast this to the correct config type, but one step at a time. I promise you all this can be done very smoothly if you just change BGM to my link. You got me. I'm not willing to budge. I'm too much of a curmudgeon. I need to listen to my Sonic the Hedgehog music or I will self-destruct. You don't understand? Alright, Unity Editor. Let's go. Let's fly. Volare via. Fly with me. Alright, so we open up Unity. Hit my subscribe button. We hit our breakpoint. I hit my breaking point. What do we have on our request? Does it look normal? Does it look okay? This looks good. This has all the properties a good event should. So now if we resume. Holy shit, it works. I've never been happier to see the text echo over here. Holy shit. Okay, that was agonizing. Let's pop out all these dumb debug logs, because we don't need that shit anymore. And then we had a couple more. Hey Lou, I'm glad you're still here. I assumed I had scared you off at this point. Now the problem is, the way this is set up is really grody. Because it basically means that for every single let me go back to VS Code here. That's fine. There's not much to pay attention to. For every single event type request that we make here, I have to basically re-implement the wheel and add accessors to get all of these things. And then we just trust that the config property here always comes out fine. So we have our abstract class at the top, a subscription request data. Now the problem is the link is still not playing. Alright. I'm worried that if I reward that kind of behavior though, I'm gonna get even more links. Hold on, let me listen to it again real quick. Let me make sure it's actually like not problematic. I might actually put it on to humor you. I like you've got tenacity. Let me skip around real quick. Okay, this seems totally safe. You're right. All right, I've been asked to listen to this, which is what we're gonna do. You win. You got me. You wore me down. You got me here. Okay, so basically every time we make a new event subscription request, though, it needs to re-implement all of these accessors. But in that way, our code can be very, very sure that everything is cool and kosher. Hold on, this is still too loud. I can't hear myself think. I ask you only because you are Italian. Well, you know I am Italian. You know this to be true. I like your tenacity, I appreciate it. It's fun. My sound redeems aren't working for some reason, Bonbombs. I'm very upset about this. Let me check my one more time on my settings here. Alerts. General. I really want to hear that sound clip play very badly. So much so that I'm willing to derail what I'm doing. Edit command. How do I choose where these actually output to? I don't remember where that is. General? No. Default audio output. Oh, wait, hold on. No, that didn't seem to do it. Unless I need to save that. One more time. Is my V cable just like asleep at the wheel? I don't understand. I have a bunch of sound redeems that I'm very much intent on getting going, and they usually work. I don't see why this time they're not. If I reboot, mix it up. Will it suddenly work now? I have a virtual audio cable that I play all of my sound redeems on so that I can do monitor on them. And they're just not going this time. I can't tell if it's just they're not connecting on Mix It Up on this end or what the deal is. But I'm going to give it one more go, and if this doesn't work... You can't fool me. I know that the national anthem of Italy is the wonderful, wonderful Funiculi Funicula. I know deep in my heart that the pizza pasta song is the national anthem of Italy. For what it's worth, Oni, while I am ethnically Italian, I am very much living in the United States of America. I am what they call Italian American. So, this song holds no immediate cultural significance to me. One more time. Do these work? I have no idea what's up with my virtual audio cables. Let's just stream without sound today. Real bummer. Thank you for linking this music, though. It's quite nice. The land of weed, though. I don't know what that means. Now you're asking questions that I don't understand. So you are Italian, but now I'm being accused, I feel like. Yeah. When I'm not programming, my most common stream category is cooking, because I will stream from my kitchen and show people how to make the pizza from the scratch. Make dough, knead it, etc., etc. All very good. But my speaking ability is, un po', what should we say? Certainly not very molto bene. Not very bene at all, in fact. I have very few people to speak or write Italian to, so it doesn't come up very often. I can read it alright, but I don't get to speak it or write it very often. Okay, so this works. This is cool. This is working. I haven't even scratched the surface of unsubscribing yet, though. Which would be a whole different can of worms. Request. On event, on error. So now we can unsubscribe, where we have our event name, and we do this. We pass in the config. Do we need to subscribe to event? We can get mean here and do null. Like that. Actually, I think we still want an on error. If for some reason you can't unsubscribe. Actually, we need a non-success also, don't we? That's fine, though. Action. VTS. Script for response data. Success. On error, that's fine. It's worth paying attention to fully. Italy's best work. Interesting. Okay, what are we doing here? Subscribe to event. On event. Oh, I see. Hold on. No. This is not what I want. You will never get me to fully pay attention to anything in my life. I appreciate the effort, but it will never come out to be. We actually don't care about this on success. This is nothing. Pass in on error. And even then, I'm not sure you need it. And this would be... false. Are you hearing the crap? I hear nothing. My skull is an empty void. I hear nothing, I know nothing. So we try and unsubscribe here. That's cool. I'm very close to my wit's end here, but I feel like I need to prove myself that this will work. Okay, so that's good. Example plugin. Public. This stuff. Right, go back to the main plugin. Go. Unsubscribe from test event. And I make that private. This is public. That's fine. Unsubscribe from test event. Cool. Like that. We have an error callback. Who's pinging me? So many people pinging me today. Why? Oh, not relevant. And that brings us to the end of this song. Thank you for sharing. I feel like I got smarter. I feel like some brain cells expanded. That was a good song. Don't link any more though. I'm good. I'm going back to listening to Sonic music. Thank you though. I appreciate you for sharing your interests with me, as I aim to do with you. Okay. We've got our unsub function. Let's go back to Unity. I feel like there needs to be a way to pass in a callback for something that happens when you successfully unsubscribe. But I'm not sure. I don't know. That's something I'll have to figure out tomorrow. So if we run this... subscribe. Don't do me like this, come on. Oh, I renamed the function, that's why. My brain is really shutting off, it's getting fucking late. Unsub. Oh, I still have my debugger running. We're good. We can turn that off. Echo. And the number goes up, little by little. Unsubscribe. And the number stops going up. That's awesome. We subscribe again, and we jump to where we need to be. Excellent. That part all works. That's great. That makes me happy. So I'm going to commit what I have as a good first pass. Let me make sure I save the scene here as well. I'm sure I will sleep on this and come up with a better solution tomorrow. I have one other thing I need to do before I can say that this is like a working pattern. Is there needs to be a way to, when you connect, resend all of those send subscription events, like such. And now I'm realizing that that might not be feasible the way I've got this set up, because I would need to know what the request and event callbacks are. So I wouldn't have the wherewithal to be able to call this again. I could do something really clowny like this. Okay, so like to demonstrate the problem, what happens is if you subscribe, I'm going to subscribe to the event here. We're going to get our echo command, and then I'm going to refresh the port list. We're going to disconnect, and we're going to reconnect, and we're no longer subscribed anymore. What we need to do is have a way to reconnect when we resubscribe, or resubscribe when we reconnect. I could do something like this. This. Maybe that works. And then here. This is kind of clowny, actually, but it might work. Basically, I need a way for this function to invoke itself again when the time comes. I need like a reference to this. that. What do you mean? And then here, this song rules also. This is good bedtime music, which is what I should be doing right now. Make a new event. Then on my, where's my connect function here? Process responses. Connect, okay. Private void resubscribe. This is where I'm going to look like a mad scientist. For each VTS event callback in this dot events dot values. We're going to do we get to the musical stingers portion of the day. There we go. That ought to do. Oh man, I was not showing my ID. I'm tired. I'm asleep. I'm asleep at the wheel. Okay, so what I've done here is when you call to subscribe, we then also, as one of these parameters in this private method, basically have a reference back to how to call this method with its generics supplied. So it's basically a callback to itself as the resubscribe method. Then in the actual socket processor in our map here, we have this error, or this event callback. We have a pointer reference back to that function. Sorry, Hawkbar, I didn't realize I wasn't sharing my screen at all. I hope I was describing that well enough to follow along. We basically have a pointer, how to call this with all the generics in place, so you know what types they're supposed to be. It's the resubscribe method is in this list here, which means I can probably do away with these. You're following along. You're a big brain genius then. Yeah, so we can probably do away with these if I don't have to reassemble everything from scratch. And then in our connect function here, I make it so that you pass in your onConnect function, but instead of calling it directly, we then turn that into another action where we do our resubscription first, and then unconnect. I don't know what happens if one of the resubscription things fails. We're gonna find out. Not tonight though, but this should work good enough for getting us back on track, and then I can do error handling and clean this shit up tomorrow. Okay, so we're gonna subscribe. Our number goes up, as you can see. I'm gonna refresh the port list, which will disconnect me. Current session is not authenticated. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a problem. So the code worked, kind of, but it's trying to resubscribe before I'm authenticated. So it's not an onConnect that I want. It's in the authentication function, which means that that gets parlayed back to here. But that's fine. Authentication. Re-authenticate. We can just make this public. And then this goes back to just being... Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, in our authenticate method, we can expose the resubscribe function from the underlying socket. So we call that when we actually receive notification that we're authenticated, and then we run our connect stuff. So instead of altering on connect, we just handle it here. Now it'll work. And if this works, I'm signing off and going to sleep. Subscribe. Our number goes up. 8,000, 8,001, 8,002. We refresh, which disconnects us. We're back on. It is not continuing to subscribe, though. I don't know why. I do not know why. Okay, so that does not work, it would seem. That's a shame. Let's, I guess, breakpoint and debug. Here. And then... Golly, and then in here, I think, is where I'm sending that. It should be throwing an error, though, I would think. Alright, boot this up. Subscribe. Immediately hit our breakpoint. Oh, I don't mean to have a breakpoint here. Resume. Okay. Now if I refresh. I'm never hitting my function, as far as I can tell. I have a breakpoint right here for resubscribe. And it's not happening. So let's find where this is being called. And put a breakpoint here. Scientist baffled. I am disconnecting and reconnecting, while my on-authentication function is not hitting the breakpoint at all. re-authenticate. Am I... How did I set this up? Is this like... Oh, wait, that's what it is. We're gonna say... Where does this get called? Hold on. That's what I need to be doing. Up at the top here, in my onConnect method. Yeah, that's correct. That makes sense. I was just thinking it was every time we reconnect, but that's not true. We do this, on connect. On error, do this again. Squirrely way that I've set this up for sure. Let's do action. Make a combined version of these. Pass it in everywhere. That should do it. Surely this will do the trick. Subscribe. Numbers, they go up. 8,335. Awesome. Refresh that port list, which disconnects us. And I hit my breakpoint, which is good. Resume. We're inside here. Awesome. That's exactly what I want. It knows that it's a test config. Okay, this seems to be working. Refresh port list. Oh, I gotta turn my debugger off. It's causing things to time out. Alright, that seems to be working. I'm gonna do it one more time without my debugger on. Or rather, taking away the breakpoints. Okay. Subscribe. 8394. Refresh. Temporary disconnect. Oh, I momentarily got an item with the same key as already in... Oh, okay. One more thing. One more thing. That I forgot to do. When we subscribe to event, and we do this, we have, if it's subscribed, we add this key. We add this thing. But what I actually need to do is if this dot events contains key, so if we already have an version of the callback, this will also allow you to update the config by doing this. So when you subscribe again, it's gonna just delete the previous entry and add a new entry. Otherwise, we just delete. Makes sense. One more time with feeling. Okay. Let's subscribe. Number goes up. Refresh the port list. And the number continues to go up when we get back in. The syntax looks very Java-y. It's so C# is like Microsoft's answer to Java. It's if you take C++ and Java and you mash them together in the best possible way. It's originally based on Java, that is correct. But the inline operators that I'm doing here, where I'm like making inline functions, this is very JavaScript, I feel like. But I really like that syntax. It is C#, yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This magically works. Somehow. Oh. Wait. Okay. Hawkbar, you're gonna love this. Let me commit real fast just in case I horribly blow this up. Okay, so you know how we made all of these, like, functions to get this config, for example? I think we don't need a lot of these. I think we don't need the get config, because the only reference to it is for this creating this callback object. And now we just have a function for resubscribe. So like I can get rid of that and get rid of these and remove them from the constructor entirely, because they don't matter. So we don't have those anymore. Now we have compiler error. Where here? Get event name and get config. We don't need those. They don't matter. So then if we go back to our data class, I guess it's just the get config that doesn't matter anymore, which is fine. I guess we still need the set config. And everything else is still being referenced. But we don't need this one, at least. That's one method we can get rid of. The config is just remembered because we have a reference to how to call that function again. With its input parameters trapped in Amber, I'm pretty sure. I think we're set. I think we're good there. This gets set config passed in. Why are we passing the... Okay, right, because it's circular. Yes, that makes sense. Wait, could I actually do... like, direct recursion here? No, okay, no, that wouldn't work, actually. I was like, can I just call this line? No. Okay, I need to stop thinking about this. I'm going insane, clearly. I've had so many near misses on shit not working. Okay, so this is, I guess, a semi-viable approach for how to get this to work. That was a really, really fun exercise in futility dealing with generics. I hope I never have to deal with that again. We have a pattern that kind of works. It's a little more verbose than I would ever like, but them's the bricks. Let's format this like everything else is formatted. None of my other constructors are like that, or method signatures like that. Golly. finally. Alright, them's the bricks. So we can subscribe to the test event. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you, Hawkbar. I appreciate it. As I mentioned, I look up to you and am endeared to you. Thank you for all the work you do for this community. You are very good. I depend on you a lot. And so do many other people. With that, I'm gonna... Yeah, all good. Skeleton War, etc., etc. Rest in peace on your tombstone. Not gonna get drafted. You're a hero. I don't know if I can go raid somebody. I don't know if anybody's online at this hour. It's exactly midnight EST. Perfect time to end. Oh, I can raid somebody. It is time to raid. Raid. Tsukimi V Dohnii. That's how you spell that. She is a jellyfish VTuber. That's her character gimmick. I don't know what she's doing right now, but her stream category is listed as marbles on stream, so I think she might be doing marble racing. She's a big Gunpla enthusiast. Very cool. Go wish her the best. I myself am going to retire back to the grave once more, but I shall rise again, refreshed, renewed tomorrow. I will not be streaming, but I will continue working on this. Have a good night, bonus era, and